So I know that I tend to open a lot of my episodes by saying hello and welcome to a very special episode of Will Travel for Food. Believe me, this time I mean it in ways you cannot imagine. Yes, if you think my job is to eat well, if not terribly wisely, well then let me just say you will never say that after today, because today has set a whole new standard altogether. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about some of the cities, the country's greatest chefs coming together under a single, well, not roof, but sky. Yes, the taste of Mumbai is, to put it simply, a carnival of comestibles. The Taste Festivals, having seen enormous success in cities as far-flung as London, Sydney and Dubai, finally made their debut in India. A celebration of food, drink and the accompanying merriment. The event served to showcase a diverse set of the city's and country's most prominent eateries all in a single ground. And yep, it was as close to my idea of happiness as I've enjoyed in a while.
If you look at the restaurants we picked, it wasn't by choice that we picked different cuisines. This is what Bombay is. She takes everyone in, makes everyone her own, and every corner of Bombay can get, you could be in New York, but you'd still be in Bombay.
I think all of us wanted to do something that was pitched at a level that internationally you could say this could be anywhere. Yeah, it's India and we can do it,
And all our Indian chefs, they have so much to share, which you don't really get an opportunity when you just go to the restaurant and eat. And that's what taste allows you to do.
Pushing them to move their boundaries and out of their comfort zone. Most people don't realize this because they're actually cooking right here. They're cooking in the back in areas which are 3x5.
Yeah.
So it forces you to rejig the way you cook, forces you to rejig the way you plate, and even what you end up cooking.
And they were cooking up quite a bit. There were stalls which naturally we will explore thoroughly in just a bit. There were vendors selling everything from cheese to chocolate, there were cafes, there were cocktail corners, and there were masterclasses. From macaron maestro Pooja Dhingra to New Zealand's Master Chef winner Nadia Lim to visiting chef Vivek Singh of London's acclaimed The Cinnamon Kitchen, to Bandra boy Gresham Fernandez, who had brought with him the experience he had gained following a stint at the world-renowned Noma.
I mean, you work with 22 different nationalities, so it's insane because you have Colombians, you have Chomans, you have French. There are guys who worked in Alinea, guys who worked in Fatak. So it's, even though you just go to Noma, but you pick up so much more.
How does then something like your experience there, how is it going to translate here?
Noma, the fact is that, even though they're pushing cuisine, they're also going back. They're going back to older techniques. There are no books. There are no, okay, let's do this way or let's do this way. Yeah. It's just, you go there, you have something, you just pick it out.
So new lessons too, and audiences to lap it up. But now to the chef stalls we must return, because let's face it, that's where the party started, at least for me. My first stop then was reason enough to break out the party hats. The China House had, in tandem with the taste mandate, 4 items to choose from. A cool sesame chicken starter, some juicy dumplings nestling on a bed of chili oil, and a mild but dazzlingly delicious wonton soup with mushrooms and Chinese cabbage. And then, because each restaurant is required to present one iconic dish, their hand-pulled dan dan noodles, swimming in spice and so very, very nice. So here again, this is the reason why events like this exist and why events like this should exist. It's not just the staggering variety of places that you get to enjoy under a single roof. It's the variety that the places themselves put out. It's just delicious. So clearly I was off to a fantastic start, but then the question is where to next? I whirled around trying to have some sort of strategy because it does get a bit mind-boggling, but perhaps that's the point. Swung by for a quick catch-up with Chef Manuel at Arola, admired the plush-style seating at Jamavar, reminded myself why I adore the green curry and garlic fried rice at Ian Kitty Chai's Go. By that something was sizzling, and so I allowed my nose to lead me to the Weston's counter for their signature restaurant Prego. And here again proof that stall does not mean simple.
Hey Aneesha, welcome to Prego. Alright, I think this is a beautiful platform for the restaurant market in India to kind of start booming out. For a customer, I think it's one platform where you get, you know, like 12 restaurants feeding you the best of their dishes at one go.
Nice.
Right? How beautiful can that be?
What that meant here was the spaghetti tossed in olive oil, chili and seafood, with the lamb shank, yes, lamb shank, on its bed of saffron risotto. But best of all was this, the calamari fritti, coated in semolina, crisp on the outside, tender inside. If this isn't some of the freshest, sweetest, best calamari you have been served, I'll outshout him. In fact, so carried away was I that by the time their dessert arrived, the somewhat predictable though very tasty tiramisu, I decided to truly embrace the mood of the moment. This is either my least flattering or the most flattering look I've ever appeared on TV with. Well, you be the judge, just please don't let me in on the verdict.
Welcome back, Aneesha.
Thanks. Come back indeed, and on to my next stop. I thought I'd try out the Bangalore-based Caperberry. I had heard good things about Chef Abhijit Saha, and as his little sample of spherifications arrived, I began to get a clue as to why. But first, and most importantly, what spherifications actually are.
To put it in simple terms, it's a technique of containing a liquid within itself. So when you immerse a liquid into a water bath that contains sodium alginate, there is a gel formation that happens. So when you put it into your mouth, if it's a flavoursome liquid, then it explodes.
Sounds good to me, and so the first one I try is a delicious globe of mango, ginger and feta. It's a burst of summer bounty. The cool, creamy mozzarella with balsamic is next. And then, best of all, a sphere of pani puri with a dollop of chutney. It's like a melting golgappa, and it's gorgeous. That is genius. Because it is made for the pani puri. You realize that once you have a bite, like you're sort of like, what is it without the crunch of the puchka outside or the puri outside? And it's actually 1,000 times better like this. Genius. And the fun continues with this, a cauliflower epsuma, a light, lovely souffle with garlic crumble and orange pudding. It's gobi like you've never been served it before. So here it is. Here's one of the lessons. What am I taking away from taste? That gobi can actually be one of the most glorious vehicles for the most incredible food. Next up, olive and chili dusted prawns on a bed of saffron polenta. And a stuffed morel and porcini-filled bowl of happiness. I have to say, going by my first round, the chefs have truly brought their A game. And actually that sentiment continues as I try out some of the other offerings. Duck confit and prune ravioli in a foie gras sauce by the Olive Bar and Kitchen. The creamy affogato with a delightful dollop of pista at the Z Cafe. Oh, molto bene. And then the chocolates. Yes, needless to say, I got somewhat distracted by this selection at Debuyel. Beautiful handmade confections that I could lick up with a spoon. Caramel flavored, Rice Krispie filled, passion fruit infused. They're all fantastic. But then I was derailed by this, the macarons. Though all of them looked tempting, the dark chocolate called my name. I love my job. I love my job. These are gorgeous. And speaking of special somethings, it's time to move on to our next stall. The New York-based graffiti by Mumbai boy Jahangir Mehta. More than happy to be back in his hometown. Yes, you're so busy with your artwork that you forget old and forgotten friends.
I don't, because see what I have written out here, guys. Concentrate down here. Baig is in the house. That's it.
But happily there was more in the house than just me.
We interpret as an artist in food-wise versus what graffiti artists do it on walls.
Nice.
It's just edible art.
have to agree as I begin with his iconic dish, what he calls his goat cheese, mushroom and truffle pizza. Magic sounding enough, I know, but what kicks it out of the ordinary and into the stratosphere is the fact that the pizza base has been replaced with crunchy, buttery, flaky pastry. I actually already know there is something borderline criminal about the way Jahangir cooks. The amount of excess in every bite, but my goodness, you will be thankful for every one of them. The rolls follow his steamed buns, one stuffed with chipotle chicken, the other with smoky super eggplant. So simple, you think you could make it at home, then you take a bite and you realize why you really can't. To finish things off, what may be the end of me, his chocolate pot de creme with chocolate caviar. This is the point where this happens. Yep, it's a good time to take a break. We'll be back though in just a bit.